when our, for example, employment systems for the longest time have not allowed people with disabilities to work in ways that are accommodating to them, for example, using technology to work from home. Right now, COVID has forced everyone to work from home. So for persons with disabilities, because the link between poverty and disability is very, it is interrelated, you find that the majority of people with disabilities live below the poverty line. That means they live in informal settlements, that means they do informal jobs, and the reality of COVID has meant that face-to-face daily transactions are no more. So that means your income sources have been cut short. When you look at the reality of COVID, you know, what do you call it, the rules of how we need to engage with one another, how we need to practice hygiene, how we need to isolate, that paints a very different picture for persons with disabilities. So for isolation, already as a person with a disability, you are isolated from the community. You live with stigma and discrimination. So this has been compounded in the COVID situation. Most of the time, depending on the disability that you have, then that means you need a caregiver. So it would be somebody close to you, or sometimes it would be an outsider who comes into your home. If this person has to access your home on a day-to-day basis, what are the chances that they're bringing the infection into your space? If this person has been violating you, you know, you're stuck in that home, you're confined in that space with your perpetrator. And we've heard cases of increased violence during this time because of this situation. When the government sends out messages and telling people, you know, we need to sanitize, we need to wash our hands, this is not the reality for people living in informal settlements. We assume that you can turn on your tap and you have clean water. Access to clean water is not a reality for everybody. So, and then when you're saying you need to isolate, so you need to do bulk shopping so that it can sustain you and your family. The assumption is you have the money to do that, you know. So there are realities of the COVID pandemic that, you know, leave people with disabilities at a very, very disadvantaged position. And you wonder, is COVID going to kill me, or is hunger going to kill me? Or so you have to pick and choose your battle. Is it my life because of this flu-like symptom that I can, you know, who knows? But then also there's the issue of pre-existing conditions. That, you know, you are more susceptible to the virus if you have a pre-existing condition. And for communities of persons with disability, the fact that healthcare has been inaccessible to them, that means they have not taken care of their health. So chances are they do have underlying conditions. So compound situation after situation. So it's a very difficult space to be in.
In the spirit of trying to mitigate the spread of the virus, what are your thoughts on just generally the importance of human rights?
Well, human rights is really a foundation, I think, of any civilized and democratic society.
Yeah.
And I would say discussion on human rights and, you know, the core values of democracy has never been more important than now.
Yeah.
We saw even before the COVID pandemic struck globally, we could see that, you know, global democracy was in decline.
Yes.
Sadly, more people lived in countries where democratic values were not being upheld.
Yes.
Than those that did. And what we're seeing now with the pandemic is, of course, that there's a great risk that some of the core democratic values are being rolled back,
yes,
scaled back, and infringed upon. And that's why we feel that a discussion like the one you're arranging here today is crucially important, not only in Kenya, but actually globally. For me and for our embassy here, it's important to participate in this dialogue on human rights, democracy, rule of law. And I just want to say a very quick but heartfelt thank you to Forum Sud, to Wajibu Wetu, and to Mufasa And for all of you, to all of you out there who are actually participating and continuing to participate in the national dialogue on human rights and democracy-related issues. It's hugely important now and in the years to come, and the Swedish Embassy will be proud to keep working with you in whatever way we can. Thank you, and stay safe.
Sinoma Wanaga Sinoma Wanaga Hadiot Soma Siro Soma Siro Soma Siro Soma Siro Soma Siro Soma Soma Siro.
The first time life became hard on me as an adult, I became a poet. I told myself I'll never steal until the time I performed before an audience and someone said I stole their ear. For 12 months they couldn't listen to any other poet. I stole their ear. And I've been doing this for years now. I can do it with my eyes closed. I can do it with the mic off. And sometimes I meet people who say to me, "We've seen you on stage. You have no fear." And I wish I was bold enough to say to them, "Cut me open. You'll find another poet I wasn't bold enough to let out." I know sometimes my writings look like they are the naked parts of me, but truth is my insides have an inside, so I still say writing is how I hide myself. And I write about my mother, so I won't have to say I'm afraid of dying or I'm scared of trying. And I write about love and girls, so I won't have to talk about all the times I almost drove myself to distraction. I'm not saying people should have everything, but at least the will to keep going. I still believe the pain in my back is for how low I had to bend to pick my self-esteem, but I don't write that because maybe you wouldn't like that. Or maybe because the empty parts of myself are full of themselves. Or maybe I don't want to say I have never smoked because my lungs are not something to boast about if my stomach might kill me one day. Now, every time younger poets ask me, how do I blow up? It reminds me, I wasn't born a bomb poet. I had to teach myself how to explode. I had to become a landmine to land an audience that is mine. See, I always wanted my art to be about what I know, but people keep making it be about how many people know me, how many directions I have to take before I'm as famous as One Direction. I know my name, every alphabet, but you're asking me to prove myself numerically. Anyway, Numbers won't count me out. And my poetry is like a lawyer's teeth, ever ready to bite a dead battery and give it another life. In this life, I'm Spider-Man with ink. I'm about to make my YouTube page a web series. That's why I write, to compose what I'm composed of, to prepare schools for my understudy. That's why I can name at least 5 times my writing was an understudy for a PhD, and I'm not done writing. My writing can't be done. This is the only way I avoid a lockdown. The stage is my freedom. I'm not rhyming. I'm freeing myself. I'm not just anybody else. I'm freeing myself. I'm not dating. I'm seeing myself. I'm not for anybody else. I'm for me and myself. I'm delicate. I'm glass, I'm broken glass. Tell the kids I'm no idol. It's easy to see yourself broken if you use a broken glass to see yourself. See the sense, this is what I do. I make up 1,000 words just to go home with a couple of cents. So I'm not rich, I'm reaching. And I reach out to create movement in the subconscious, and that's just remote. Retrospectively, billions of years ago, there was a bang, and I bear the super for someone to make it big. That's how I found myself banging. I never kicked my mother's belly, I was banging. And I've been banging at doors of people not open to understanding, so maybe my poetry will never be understood, but that doesn't mean anything. For as long as knowledge is limitless, then I find meaning meaningless. And if anybody asks me, where do you see yourself in 10 years, in 5 years? I'll say, one day, I'll rise. For now, I just wake up in the morning, and I love tea in the morning, spiced with lemon and honey. And I love honey because the bee stings, but honey doesn't. That is Papillon, ladies and gentlemen. That is Papillon. Papillon. Thank you very much, bro. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Okay, for everybody logging in right now, you're welcome, you're welcome. Thank you, thank you. Make sure more people log in right now. Invite more people, invite more people, invite more people. I won't be able to see your text right now. I don't want to be distracted, so I'll see them in a bit. So keep texting. I'll see them in a bit, Now, it's a weird time, right? Like things, no one saw this time coming. Like it's a difficult challenge, it's a challenging time. I mean, I was thinking to myself, like no one downloaded Skype thinking that you would use it to bury your loved ones in the future. And so much is coming right now, it's coming out rather, like there's this person, Mina, the guy who was beaten up by police for being late. It was about 7:10 and was beaten up. And I realized one thing, that most of us are desensitized from issues that don't affect us. Like I remember one of the questions someone was asking on Twitter was, what was he doing at that time? And you know, that question comes from a point of privilege, like you were in the house, you were safe, so you don't really care much about someone else's situation. You question the situation. And there are other people as well that now feel, as long as we are not them, as long as we cannot see those people in slums and where people are struggling, people who don't have savings and stuff to cover them during the situation, we desensitize ourselves from them. And right about now, let me welcome Ashley. This is Ashley.
We need to find a way to change tomorrow today.
Come on.
We need to find a way to change tomorrow today. Change it for the children.
Yeah.
Change it for the women. Change it for the man.
Everybody.
We need to find a way. Ooh,
Come on.
hey.
Tell them.
We need to find a way. Find a way to change tomorrow today.
We have to.
We need to find a way to change tomorrow today. Change it for our children.
For everyone.
Change it for the women.
Yeah.
Change it for the man. We need to find a way. Find a way.
Just because they cover the mouth doesn't mean the masks are supposed to silence us. This COVID situation is unreal, but police brutality and people's struggles are real. I have realized every time the country is burning, people in slums get third-degree burns. They walk around with scars, and scars are not like plastics. They can't be banned. They are free to land on any part of your body. But what kind of freedom does a flying toilet bring? When will those with hectares of land learn to stand for those who can't even land a house with a latrine? I'm telling you, 2 legs have not been enough to pray for this country. Maybe we all need 4 knees, because I'm tired of subjective treatment in this country. Everybody doesn't need to be your cousin or your niece. Your political party is fighting you. You can't sleep. I'm sorry. But do you know sleeping pills will not assist those in Madare whose houses flood with water every time it rains? This is reality. I'm cooking nothing. If a Puritan is not how to protect a child from being awake with hunger, then give us solutions. Before the children are the leaders of tomorrow, they are here, wondering where today will lead them to. So I'm not here to join a queue of artists asking you to wash your hands. There are people in Kariobangi right now sleeping outside, and I just want to know, whoever did this, are your hands clean? When you woke up this morning, was your heart still here? Because I don't know about your watch, but it's a bad, bad time. People are losing jobs every time. There are people in the service industry who can only serve God right now. They're asking him to send someone to speak to our leaders, but Savage is here, but they need Esther. Their trust is fading. They don't trust rectangle ballot boxes to be rectangular anymore. The leaders they voted in need time to print their faces on food and pads before they can help right now. The people have turned to God right now. They're asking a just God to give them a just world, because today, justice is like a bad spine. It can't have your back. It will put you on a wheelchair, like DJ Evolve.
We need to find. Hey, we need to find a way to change tomorrow today. Say we need to find a way to change tomorrow today. Change it for our children.
We have to do for everyone.
We need to find a way.
Come on.
To change it for our children, to change it for our women, change it for to change it for you and I. For you and I. Change it, yeah. You and I.
Tell them, Ashley.
Hey. We need to find a way
Yeah.
to change tomorrow today.
Yeah.
We must change it for our children.
That's true.
We must change it for our women.
Yeah.
We must change it for our men.
Yeah.
Change it for everyone.
Woo. Give it up for Ashley. Give it up for Ashley. I hope you're clapping right now. You better be clapping, but for real. We need to create a world that is better for everyone, not just you and I both, for everyone. Not for one person, for everyone. And I don't know about your story during this time. Like, I don't know your COVID story. I know people are facing different challenges. Like, I know a friend of mine who told me that his neighbor, something happened to his neighbor. Like, his neighbor was supporting his family, and because of the COVID thing, he was released from work. And because of the pressure of not being able to help out with the family and everything, he just killed himself. Like, he just used a jiko, akafunga mlango za nyumba, and he just decided to die like that slowly. So even now, probably you're comfortable, you're well off during this time. If you can help anybody in any way, come through for them. And like right now, I want to invite a friend of mine, Roger. He's a young guy. I just want to hear his thoughts. Like, what does he think about this whole time and this whole situation? Yeah, Roger, man.
Good evening. Allow me to just have a heart to heart with you, just for a minute or two. Now, even though its impact has been felt with varying levels of intensity, I'm shocked at how isolated we are. I mean, if you're fortunate, you have some sort of bubble that's sheltering you, but the majority do not have that luxury. I mean, think about it for a second. Just think about it. Close your eyes and just think about it. Even before all of this, many were barely able to make a living. Some education is at a standstill, so nika future yao iko on hold. And the restriction on movement has forced others to stay at a home that has never really felt like a home. Some don't even have a home to begin with. And we all know what happens curfew ikikupata nje. It's like we are victims of ignorant power. Tumegeuza stress relief for karao mwenye akona frustrations zake. It's like rock, hard place, and the youth are right there in between. Now, I must say there are some who rise to the occasion, and it is commendable. It shows how resilient the youth can be, but for most, the idleness, the solitude, the isolation can be destructive. depression, anxiety, escapism. What does it go on the rise? But what do you expect when we are all stuck in a system that is inadequate? See, we need something. We need something. We need each and every one of you to care about the other. We need each and every one of you to consider the other. We need the people in power to care, genuinely care. Not about us in a context of future votes, but genuinely take an interest in our state of well-being, our access to basic amenities, food, water, a roof over our head. Help lessen the burden. Create structures that facilitate a conducive infrastructure. Set aside funds that facilitate zero-interest loans. Help us. It's your responsibility. Until then, we shall continue to speak. Speak. We shall continue to engage with each and every one of you. We shall continue to be a much-needed driving force. I think we can all agree that we need that tomorrow to get here much, much quicker. Thank you.
I have a question by the way. Kuna question.
Yeah.
What do you, saizi wenye una job, una do nini, how are you earning a living?
I'm a writer, so online writing. I think everything has moved to the digital space, and it is one area that as youth we can try to capitalize on, but at the same time, we need both ends of a spectrum. Everyone needs to play their role. Yeah, thank you, man. More power to you.
Thank you very much. Hey!
Staki
Thank you very
kushikwa.
much. Thank you very much.
Yeah.
Yeah, at least wasenye wanaweza ingia online job ni nini, hey, bahati yenyu yo. Cause hey, we had to do the live. And right about now, I want to welcome somebody special. Just take you to that place musically, remind you about struggling of young men, what you're going through, Checkmate, man. His name is Checkmate Mido. Yo, I hope you're texting. I'll take a break and read your text right now. Okay. Let's do this.
Mr. Do Everything. Copy paste this flow cause I already flew everything. Watasema mimi ni cold, nikana hot chew everything. Nikiwadunga real kwa poetry biblical, I swear it's all true. Everything. Move anything to make sure I'm junior wa mine. I gonna all new everything. Jukwa hii industry form ni fake it till you make it. If you don't wonder suras if you knew everything. And if the alibad catches the worm, it's okay, we'll snooze everything. We'll wake up later, catch that alibad till no John choose ni everything. Karibu dunia ina njaa, ukipeana option, tuta choose option ya choose everything. And the truth hurts, nobody cares if you prove anything. So use everything, be wise, usiweke kando yako kitu haina urembo wala maana, refuse everything. Kama kukomaa, deduce many things. Too many times jibu hupatikana moyoni mwako na usipoiona ita confuse everything. Kaa kupeana kisses kwa cheek, kwa ula litenda dhambi huwezi forgive. Goodbyes, I love you Miss Magdalene, but I think this is it. So njoo nipende leo tu for this holy night. Asubuhi wakiuliza, tell them I left with the holy light. Assalam naleta assalam, imba assalam naleta love. Assalam naleta asa imba assalam naleta love. Assalam naleta assalam, imba assalam naleta love. Assalam naleta asa imba assalam naleta love. Bang 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 bang. Bang 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 bang.
My boys are dying. Some of them are poets. They have written 1,000 poems, but not one has earned them a living. Open mics don't open the door when the landlord closes your house. My boys are dying. Some of them are singers. You may or may not have heard their songs before, but every mealtime they eat their own songs and choke on their lyrics. My boys are dying. Don't let those Nike shoes fool you. There's nothing correct about the heart of a young man who has nothing but his Nike shoes. My boys are dying from being misunderstood. Understand that my boys will do anything for money. Understand that sometimes the modern woman has a watchman, CCTV cameras, and a mobile app that will send people to fix anything in her house. The only security she might need from her man is financial. My boys are dying because their pocket is light. My boys are dying because their heart is heavy. Maybe if they had Whitney's voice, they would sing their heart out and just watch it beating right in front of them. My boys are dying from heartbreaks, from disappointments. They're not asking to win all the time. They're asking to win at least this one time. My boys are dying because the universe has refused to accept them as stars. Now they're earthbound, bound to be earth. Earth is soil, soil is sometimes called dirt. My boys are dirty. My boys are dying from working in sewers and garbage points without proper gear. The family fears, but it's what steers. They're leaving, believing tomorrow will come, but the day is leaving. My boys are dying from taking care of families that don't feel taken care of. My boys are dying from bullet wounds. My boys are dying for being boys, for being big boys, for being just boys, for being bus boys, for being in a group of boys. My boys are dying before they are fathers. My boys are dying because they are fathers. My boys are dying to go farther. They've got bomb lyrics to bomb your TV, check their temperatures. They are walking degrees. Their mind is a state of art. The state has refused to stage outside. My boys are dying inside. Ask the jail warden. My boys are dying from duodenal wounds, from intestinal wounds. My boys are dying outside. My boys are dying because our leaders are clashing. My boys are dying because our leaders are lying. My boys are dying because integrity is dying. My boys are dying because they have nothing to go back to. I know boys my age in the streets going back to back, blaming a whole country for not having their back. My boys are dying because they lost hope. My boys are dying because their minds at war. My boys are dying, and all our local leaders keep doing is lying, lying, lying to fly Russia, Dubai. I wonder what to buy while my boys cannot afford a bus back home. My boys are dying. In my country, a local hospital is where your leaders visit when they are well and refuse to go to when they are unwell.
nikitangaza mindo mwangaza, nikiangaza punguza haraka, weka moyo kwa neno unatamka, nipate kani natapaka, nikitangaza mindo mwangaza, nikiangaza punguza haraka, weka moyo kwa neno unatamka. Bang bang bidi bang 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 bidi bang 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 bidi bang bang bang. Hey, bang bang bidi bang 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 bidi bang 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 bidi bang 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 bang. Bang bang bidi bang 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 bidi bang bang bidi bang 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 bang. Bang bang bidi bang 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 bidi bang 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 bidi bang 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 bang.
Give it up for Checkmate, man. Give it up for Checkmate. Checkmate, man. Bless, man. What? Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, man. Thank you, man. Checkmate, by the way. Dunsadia na nini? What do you call the spirit? Nini nini? Eh? Like, you know? Thing going on. Like, this is what you do. Even when you use instruments right now, that's it. Another one? Yeah. Yeah, that's good. That's good. That's good. There, in fact, yeah, you see, we have to adapt, we have to adapt. We have to take care of each other. And right about now, let me just take a break, kidogo. Let me take a break. Let it not sound like we are complaining, but what we're actually saying is we're highlighting basically, you know, we like ignoring stuff. We can have the good times, but as well, we can make the bad times better. We can make them better. And now, what do we do? Somebody was asking me, who's telling me about Nini requests? Like, I see future wife is there, but now that means love poems. You guys want love poems, so. But how's love doing during this time? How's love doing during this COVID situation? Because I was thinking to myself, right now, if you're going on dates, you're wearing masks, so are you really seeing each other? No? You don't get? Okay, sorry, okay.
Monday, Tuesday, you're always on my mind. I wanna be with you every Thursday and every Friday. Monday, Tuesday, always on my mind. I wanna be with you every Thursday and every Friday.
Hey.
Ooh.
Hey.
Every day.
This will not be the first time I talk about the first time I saw you. But really, the first time I saw you, I just wanted to run to you and pour my name into your hands. That is how I imagined you holding me the first time. When I met you, I knew almost immediately you were somebody my heart could shelter for free without rent. So I prepared my heart for you, but you went for my lungs. On our second date, you asked me to surrender my breathing pattern to you. That is how you landed my body as your colony that night. You kissed me on my cheek, planted your lipstick as a flag. The cab driver was a witness. I did not resist your rule. I gave you the throne to my heir. Now the next days we talked on the phone. I opened up to you like a borehole. You did not do the digging. I dug into myself until I was a body of water aching to pour myself on you. And I lacked being water. Your past was full of heat, mine was frozen water, so it was cool to be ice around you. And I remember the warnings, everything you warned me about yourself. I remember you warning me, I'm difficult. And I remember thinking, okay, but loving you is easy. I remember how I kept falling for you. It was a scary fall. I wanted to tell you I need knee pads and a helmet for the way I'm crushing on you. Hey, yeah. You can do this in the house. I mean, you don't understand. I have always told people around me that I'm not a texter, but I texted you when I woke up, when I ate, when I was about to shower, when I didn't shower. I never wanted to let you go, especially not on a phone call. You can call them wireless phones, but I felt strings attached to our conversations. I mean, I admit there was something about your voice, but that's not what you meant to me. Nah, it was more. I valued you internally, and there's no sound for that. If only my heart had a mouth for that. And I remember every time we wanted to see each other, nothing could stop us. Not even a Sunday, not even a Monday. I was ready to learn how to hold your hand on a Tuesday and call it a school day. But look at us now. I keep talking about yesterday because all we have is a past now. What we started on a January couldn't amount to much. We ended it on a February. When April came, your birth sign was still a cancer in my mind. I kept telling myself it may stop in May. And now it's June. And I wrote a poem about you that people will talk about until July.
Monday, Tuesday, you are always on my mind. I wanna be with you every Thursday and every Friday. Monday, Tuesday, you are always on my mind. I wanna be with you every Thursday, Friday, Sunday, Saturday.
Down on the sax. Come on. Hey. Yo, if you didn't feel that, yo problems, yo. Yo. Thank you, Don, man. Thank you, Don. And you see what you're doing? You see what you're doing? Social distancing. Don is up there. Thank you, man. Thank you, man. Thank you, man. That was amazing. That was amazing. And right about now, just before we do our last piece, I'd like to welcome somebody from an organization that has been supporting young people for a long time. Let me welcome Catherine from Forum Suite.
Thank you so much, Mufasa. That was spectacular. what we've been able to see today, you and I, as we follow the day and the evening, is that it's not only spectacular, but my ears have been stolen. As Mufasa says, he's stolen our ears. And not only have the ears been stolen, but again, we've been reminded that we need to find a way to change today for a better tomorrow for everyone. And this is what, as an organization, we do. We try to support artists, we try to support poets, we try to find innovative ways to find solutions to change issues that are affecting our society, issues that manifest every day. And it's interesting to see that through this support, that we are only not sustaining the seasoned poets and artists, but again, they're young emerging people that are coming through, young artists that we've been able to support that are coming through and they're able to express themselves. So through this, we appreciate even the support of the Embassy of Sweden and CEDA, who have been working with us and believing that innovation is the way, that there's space in art to start discussion, to discuss matters, democracy, gender, and human rights. And I'm happy to see that we are able to sustain these conversations in our communities. And today, as I was sitting and I'm asking myself, what can we do together? What can we do as other artists? What can we do as other stakeholders? Let's come together and support this very beautiful initiative. And even in the situation of COVID-19, we are sure that, yes, we are addressing the issues, but at the same time, they are forgotten voices. So art, spoken word, activism allows us to remember the forgotten voices, the voices of our young people, voices of people living disability, voices of women who are dealing with everyday issues that manifest in their society. So I'm happy to say, as Forum Sud, when we work together, we are able to see that in the coming future, we will be able to find resources to continue supporting Mufasa as you continue with your work, and also support other young budding organizations. So my final call to every other stakeholder outside there is that let's come together, let's join hands, and find a way to change today for a better tomorrow.
Yes! Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Time is not on our side. Niko sure watu wengine mnafaa mulale saizi. This is the time you're supposed to be sleeping. Thank you very much, Catherine. Thank you very much to Forum Sud. And right about now, we're doing our last piece. Oh no, oh no, oh no, oh no! But yeah, we're doing our last piece. Let's go.
Bless this our land and nation. Deliver us from ignorance. Deliver us from ignorance. Oh God of all creation, bless this our land and nation. Come and deliver us from ignorance. Come deliver us from ignorance.
The failures of an election, the search for the savior of mass crucifixion, sleeping with the enemy, that's a dark erection. We don't own land, these days we inherit taxation, a poor libation. Cause I'd rather live in a past where our peace a gone generation than be here where a few people can pocket a whole nation. Even when I'm fly, I'm just a part of someone's trouser that needs no revelation. We have been warned and wounded, but there's no emancipation. It's just a song by Bob Marley that we sing when we are a drinking nation. We're not a free nation. We're a nation that lets people steal for free without discretion. Question, are we the generation that could not generate the power to be enslaved? I called the police, I said please. The government stealing from the government, do something please. The policeman said, I'm sorry, this line of land is barren. You can't plant that information here. I'm not to park here. What's driving me is what to park in the mental sphere. Education without quality, maternal mortality, police brutality, or is it people above using the police to rule in brutality? A crop of leaders killed agriculture, nothing to do with fertility. In fact, to call them a crop of leaders is to abuse productivity. Money doesn't grow on trees, but trees are disappearing because the religion of money is growing. The executive is a believer, and people have learned to worship. And I dare say to you, from the beginning, truth has been silenced. Expose the parts of you that do not expose you to lose your part. But I have to ask, are we the generation that cannot generate the power to be enslaved? Baluka. Yes, sir. 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 And give it up for Ashley. Come on. Yes, Ashley. Take us there. Yes. Yes. Failures of an election. The sack for the savior of mass crucifixion. We don't own land these days, we inherit taxation. A poor libation. Cause I'd rather live in a past where our peas are gone generation than be here where a few people can pocket a whole nation. Even when I'm fly, I'm just a part of someone's trouser that needs no revelation. We have been warned and wounded, but there's no emancipation. It's just a song by Bob Marley that we sing when we're a drinking nation. But we're not a free nation. We are a nation that lets people steal for free without discretion. Question, are we the generation that cannot generate the power to be enslaved? I called the police, I said, please. The government is stealing from the government, do something, please. The policeman said, I'm sorry, this line of land is barren. You can't plant that information here. I'm not to park here. What's driving me is what to park in your mental sphere. Education without quality, maternal mortality, police brutality, or is it people above using the police to rule in brutality? Your crop of leaders killed agriculture, nothing to do with fertility. In fact, to call them a crop of leaders is to abuse productivity. But I have to ask, are we the generation that could not generate the power to be enslaved? Thank you very much. Javé on the drums. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. That's Javé. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Thank you everyone for tuning in. I'm sorry, but we have to leave. I'm sorry we have to leave. I just want to thank Alliance for allowing us to do this show today here. Thanking Alliance for supporting us all through. But then they have online classes going on until now, going on. Thanks to Forum Suite for making this happen, yo. Thank you. Thank you for everybody, for every young individual, for every person out there who's trying to change themselves and through that to change their community and change this world. That's how change is gonna come. Change will come when we change first. Thank you very much. And thank you very much to the Swedish ambassador. Thank you very much for coming. Thank you very much for joining us today. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Thank you for everything you had to say. Thank you.